everybody. Welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda, and this is my brother Eric.
How's it going, everybody? I hope you guys have enjoyed these last few episodes as much as we have.
Yeah, and if you guys like what we're doing here, please don't forget to share, even with just one person. We really appreciate your support, helping us connect with more nerds, and excited that you're listening and sharing your likes and comments with us. We just love getting into the nostalgia of it all and laughing through Friends together and now walking through Stranger Things in our midweek episodes. So just super excited to have you guys along with us.
Yeah, check out our Instagram, our TikTok, our YouTube for all the short video format that we're doing. We love seeing all the likes that you guys are giving us and the shares and the new followers we're making. So keep it up. We really appreciate it. And let's just dive into this one.
Yeah, so just as a reminder of where we're at, so we'll be closing out season 2 of Friends. Last week we covered episodes 17 through 20, where Phoebe made a music video, Eddie moves in with Chandler and then also moves out. Joey's character on Days of Our Lives as Dr. Draco Moray got killed off. And both Ross and Rachel and Monica and Richard both said, "I love you" to each other. So there was some movement in those relationships, and we will continue. Episodes. Yes. Big episodes for sure. So Eric, one thing that came up on my YouTube feed this week was, those like bar chart races with the intense music playing in the background, and it just like flips through all the different bar graphs of
over the years and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So one of those came up, and it was about the top 20 most popular shows like since around the time since when Friends started. It started like in the early 90s. So from that period through to current day, Friends stayed in the top 20 shows.
That's really impressive for a show that hasn't been on the air in decades. Right. Like really, really impressive. I think Netflix really gave it some life. I think COVID might have helped with that. When everybody was at home watching Netflix and nobody was, and all the current TV shows were shut down. So why not watch like Seinfeld and Friends and How I Met Your Mother and all the other great ones that people have watched before. The Office got a lot of publicity, I'm sure, at that time too.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
That there's just always going to be room in this streaming generation that we're in for people to relive old shows very easily. I remember our dad used to, what was it? All in the Family was the show that he would watch all the time, but he had them all stacked up on VHSs that he had personally recorded off TV, and they were all just there, and he'd be watching them, on a nightly basis. And it's so much easier to not have to do that, not have to go switch out tapes, not have to bother recording stuff. It's just there, and the whole thing is there, and you can watch as much or as little as you want. It's pretty great.
That's a good point, Eric. It kind of makes sense that we're doing this podcast because we really did grow up in a rerun household. I mean,
sure did.
We grew up in an environment where we really cherished, like, hey, let's watch it again. I mean, that was it's in our blood. That's for sure.
It's there. It's there for sure. Absolutely.
Yep. Cool.
By the way, All in the Family, not a show that I know a whole lot of other than that Dad used to watch it. But the clips I have seen are like, they're timeless and hilarious.
Oh yeah. And they really made an impact on the time.
Sure did.
There were some controversial episodes for sure. Controversial characters and
Yeah. Really, really, really interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. Maybe we'll rerun it someday.
I know, my goodness, that would be a flashback. Or like, getting into those like any Nick at Night shows that we used to watch. Like I'm thinking now of like Mork and Mindy and oh my goodness,
Mork and Mindy was great. I remember watching a lot of like Bewitched and Happy Days and stuff like that.
Bewitched, yeah.
Oh
my goodness. Oh, for sure. So, but getting back to Friends. So Friends top 20 since it's been on, and yeah, exactly. It spiked again during COVID. Really cool. I just thought that was great. Stranger Things also made an appearance on that bar list, and I just thought that was cool. I'm like, wow, okay. I guess we're hitting a couple popular ones for sure.
We got 4 episodes to go.
I know. Yeah, this is right. So we are getting into these episodes. Listen, we are going through episodes 21 through 24 today, right to the end of season 2. And Eric, let's kick things off with the synopsis of episode 21, the one with the bullies.
Yes, the one with the bullies. So in this one, we have Monica, who is investing in herself after finding the stock MEG scrolling on her TV before needing to take a diner job, while Joey and Rachel accompany Phoebe on another trip to see her birth father, where she eventually gets us introduced to Frank Jr. Ross and Chandler are dealing with confronting bullies at Central Perk, as is the name of the episode. So, which of these 3 stories do you want to go with first?
I'm gonna start with Monica with the stocks, because I feel like it's kind of the least significant part of the episode.
Agreed. It is the least impactful piece.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, she wants to buy stocks. She's just bored. Like, listen, Monica doesn't have a job. She is looking for something to take up her time, and I think she just wants to focus on how to make money in maybe a less conventional way that does not involve her having to put on flame retardant boobs, as she says. But then she does.
She has to.
So,
listen, you buckle down at some point and do the job you need to do to find some cash. That's what has to happen.
Yeah, and that's probably my favorite part of this whole segment, is that at the end when she ends up standing on the counter singing the YMCA with the poodle skirt and the wig and the fake boobs, and it's just, and all the friends are there cheering her on. She has to embrace this.
Cheering. I mean, they're
maybe
like
they're to tease her, make
down
fun of
quarters on the table. Like,
yes.
It's like they're clearly going to make this terrible for her.
Listen, and this is extremely, as we've kind of pointed out in another episode where they relate to How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yes.
Does this remind you?
Yes. It's straight up with Lily at the Hawaiian luau place, for sure.
That's right. It's literally it's the same thing. It's the same exact concept pulled into this episode. Well, this one obviously started with that theme.
Yeah, the only difference is, I mean, to me, going back and forth between those 2 shows, the biggest difference is Monica's trying to stay in a field that she is interested in. Lily's just trying to find a job at that point. Like, so Monica, because we'll go into the future here. There's a scene with Rachel where she's, upset that she's got this job that's very loosely connected to clothing, which is what she wants to do. And Monica's like, suck it up. Look where I am right now. What?
Yes, that's a great point. So it's like she's trying to at least do something related to her line of work. Yeah. Lily, at that point, she was trying to branch out and figure out, like, hey, do I even want to be a teacher, or do I just want to do something else? And like, she was, great point. Yeah, for sure. But
also, one of the best Joey lines is in this segment with Monica, where Monica is stressing out and he goes, "Monica, relax, go get a beer." She's like, "I don't want a beer." Who said it was for you? Like, this episode's got banger Joey lines. I'm not gonna say it's the best episode, but Joey is hitting home runs in this episode. That's one of them.
Yeah. And you know that Monica, which, I'm thinking back to that episode where there was the whole financial debate, right? And there were the issues where it's like you had the friends who had more money, and then you had the group of friends that were struggling a bit more. And now in this scene, you see Monica begging Rachel for some cash because she wants to buy more stocks and she doesn't have anything. And I'm like, wow, the tables have turned here.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm not so well versed in the stock market in the 90s. I know you could buy stuff for less back then than you can today, but she said she had $127 in her bank account and then was buying at least 5 shares of some stock. I'm like, I don't think the math is mathing on that one. Maybe they're real low and that's why you lost all your money. But that's pretty wild.
Well, and Monica doesn't know anything about it either. She just like picks up the phone and she's like, "Can I have the number for the stock selling store?"
That's great. That's a good line.
Like, oh, yeah, pretty much. But kind of then the next segment that we could touch on is Phoebe, which I think to me is my favorite part of the episode. Phoebe seeing signs and everything that is related to her dad, so she feels like, now I want to go see my dad again.
Those are the moments where I'm like, come on, Phoebe, what are we doing?
I know, I passed a buffet, which is my father's last name, Buffet. They were selling Frank's, which is his first name, minus the S. And then there was a rotisserie with spinning chickens because I chickened out the last time. Coincidences? I don't think so.
Is that his Indian name? I think is what they said.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, it is just ridiculous. So, but Joey and Rachel just being such good friends, they go with her in the car to in the cab again to go to her dad's house. And this is where Phoebe gets attacked by the tiny dog. The most insane dog that jumps into the window. That was just a hilarious scene where Joey's like, "What? It's just a little dog." And then he turns around and this thing is like, I don't know if it was rabid, like what was going on with this dog. But
how they got that dog. I mean, listen, I know it wasn't some camera magic here, but the dog is literally in the smallest slither of a window as it could possibly be, just barking its head off right in Joey's face. It was great. It was a good moment.
It reminded me of the little dog in Something About Mary.
Oh, yeah. That's
Ben
not too
Stiller.
far. Yeah.
He's running around like has to like drug or whatever to finally sedate this thing. Oh my goodness, that scene was hilarious. But yeah, and then and Phoebe, obviously the person who doesn't want to, no one wants to hurt an animal, but Phoebe is very sensitive to animals and always wants to care for them. And then the scene where then she runs, you just hear her, she decides, you know what, I'm not ready to meet him. It's gotten dark at this point. I guess they've been sitting outside this house for like hours.
Point of order.
Yes, please.
You live in the house.
Right.
There's a random taxi cab sitting outside your house all day. You're in the suburbs. Like, we're all just cool with this? That seems ridiculous.
I know. It does. There's
like no one would have come out of the house and like been like, "Hey, what are you doing here? Your dog's barking in the lawn." I don't know.
I know. Making this whole scene, right. It's people are throwing sandwiches out the window. Like, I mean, someone would have noticed.
Someone would have approached.
Right. And at this point then Phoebe is like, you know what? I'm gonna head out. I'm not ready. Sorry guys. Like it's just I want it to be perfect. It's not the right time. And as she's rolling out, you just hear this yelp. And this dog is clearly hit. And it's just like, oh God, it must have like fallen asleep under the wheel or something. But that scene, I have to point out, watched it several times. She totally reacts before she hits the dog. I don't know if you've noticed that when watching this.
Off?
Yeah, before the sound, like she kind of makes this face, Lisa Kudrow. And it's like, you know that she's just waiting for the yelp and the timing is just slightly off. And it just kind of makes me chuckle each time I watch it.
But I assume in those sorts of things, they like edit the yelp in post-production. And so they might have should have had it a second earlier. That being said, Joey, great line number 2 in this episode. Right. Guessing the threshold is clear.
Yes, exactly. Yep. guess it's clear now. Okay. And then I love when they're back at the house and or at the apartment and Phoebe's just saying, "Okay, I talked to the vet. The dog is going to be okay and I can pick him up tomorrow." So I guess, they've taken the dog with them. They're trying to get it fixed up so they can bring it back to her dad. Um and she wants Joey to call the house to let her dad know that the dog is okay and they're going to be returning the dog. And he uses this super creepy voice when calling. It sounds like they have held this dog hostage. I don't know what he was thinking, but he's just like, "Hello, Mrs. Buffet. I know where your dog is. He will be returned to you almost as good as new within 24 hours. Goodbye." And it's just...
and in a gravelly, like really sketchy voice. They're like, "Why the voice? What? Hard to tell." That's what he's. It's like, I don't know. Just did it.
Joey.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. My favorite Phoebe line of this episode, though, which cracks me up every time, is when she returns the dog. And she says to the woman who opens the door, "If it's raining, don't let him look up because that cone will fill up really, really fast." This dog has one of these cones around its neck and then you just get the visual of this poor little thing looking up in the air while it's pouring rain. And
that's just raining down as if he would keep his head straight vertical for that long.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
But we do get Frank Jr. now. And Frank Jr. comes into the fold. And I mean, I know we met the actor a few episodes back, running through the streets, although not necessarily as Frank Jr., but maybe. I like to think so.
Giovanni Ribisi. Yep.
And Frank Jr. and Phoebe kind of start off this whole relationship between them where it's like, oh, like, so you're kind of like my half brother, half sister situation. And so there's some good that comes of going back to the house. And I do find it funny because when he's like, "Well, maybe I'll call you sometime." And her response is, "Did you catch this? I'm in the book.
I'm in the book.
Yes. As if they're going to flip through the yellow pages and find Phoebe's phone number, which is something that I think most young people watching this episode today would be like, "What book is that?"
Right. We're talking about the Bible here? Like, what's happening?
Yeah. What book are we in? Like, this is one of those things that I keep watching for, like, how are things different through time? That line is not something that gets said in an episode today. No one's in the book anymore. So yeah, but I thought that was funny, interesting, and I'm glad Frank Jr. is around. Although this was not his most exciting appearance. I feel like the whole thing with stilts is weird.
I love Frank Jr. His character makes me so happy. I love whenever they bring in the people that are related to Phoebe and how you just see that they're clearly related to Phoebe.
Yes.
Like Frank Jr. And then later on when we meet Phoebe's birth mom and then, even like conversations with her grandmother, it's just like, oh yeah, you guys are all clearly related and they did such a good job.
Even Ursula.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Ursula is not the same, but they are similar enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So good. Yeah. And I love when Frank Jr. is just like, he didn't really talk about anything except stilts. He was always happiest on his stilts. And she's just like, I don't know what to do with that.
No, I don't either. As a viewer, I don't know what to do with that either.
Right. And, but then when he says, "You're my big sister, you can buy me beer now." And she's like, I don't know about that. So I guess he's definitely supposed to be under 21. And if you want, we could go around back and I can show you where he hit his head on the rain gutter. And Phoebe's just like, "Okay, sounds good." Like,
well, and the way I kind of look at this is Phoebe's just like, she's trying to find a connection to her birth father.
Yeah.
And now we have somebody who is connected. The woman in the house is not. She's Frank Jr.'s mom, not her mom.
Yeah, right.
And so we have Frank Jr., who is now someone who she can build a relationship with, and
That's right.
we're off and running.
Yeah, and I did like, just to go back, I liked when she said, "He went out for groceries. He left 4 years ago, but we expect him back any minute now."
Any minute.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, not
Yeah.
good.
Sounds
back.
like a winner.
Yeah.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah. And then we're on to the bully sequence. So, Eric, what do you think about the bullies of it all?
Okay. This is not one of my favorite storylines. To start, I do genuinely like how it ends, but the beginning of it is real rough to watch.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is that we've got Chandler and Ross who come in and sit down on the couch at Central Perk. And these two guys were already sitting there and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we're in your seats." And it turns into this weird high school bullying vibe between all four of them. Chandler's trying to make jokes. And so one of the bullies steals Chandler's hat. And we get the whole, we get this back and forth where Chandler's just put off, like, "Wait, you're actually
serious?
stealing my hat?" "Yes." "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, this is my hat." And I do laugh every time when Ross comes over. He's like, "Hey, kudos on that hat joke."
Oh my God.
He's like, "But can you give it back?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Well, but it was a really special hat. See, he was feeling really sad one day."
Stop talking. Stop talking now. Talking. He's like,
I mean, that section is just like, "Ross, what are you doing, man? Like, come on."
He got it when he was feeling low.
This isn't the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not it.
No. And then
okay. So they go through this whole thing, right? They go through the trying to go to the coffee shop again, running into him again, and then it being like a Ross going up to Gunther. "Hey, Gunther, these guys are trying to take our seats," which is a good line.
I think
and makes me laugh also.
I think you played the Gunther card too soon.
For sure you did. So then they're like, "We're staying at home, or we're making our own cappuccinos, keeping it. I get." And then again, we connect to How I Met Your Mother with the like rite of passage of getting beat up. Where,
good call.
Ross and Chandler are now going outside. We're not going outside, but they're going down to the coffee shop with the intention of potentially getting in a fight here. Yep. And we saw this with Ted and Barney at the bar one time as well.
Yes.
But this is kind of like now marked a rite of passage. They try to drink their drink in about 3 seconds and run out of there, and then they run into the bullies on the street. And this is the moment that I start actually being okay with the storyline, because up until this point, from my personal analytics of it all, Ross and Chandler seem so out of character. Again, like, it just doesn't seem like them. I'm not saying they're the like type to stand up against a bully, because I don't believe that they are. They're definitely talk it out type guys.
Yeah.
But like the whole back and forth between them, maybe it's just that the bullies feel so unrealistic.
It does.
There's something weird here. But when they get out to the street and start like getting ready to fight, and the guy's like, "Well, hold on, I gotta take my watch off. Like, I don't want to do any damage with it." And Chandler's like, "Well, wait a minute. I don't care about my watch. So, can I feel like I could do some damage with it. Like, we could really do something here." And they're like, no watches. He's like, "Okay." Tries to pick keys. No keys either.
Are we hitting faces?
So but then we get to the hitting faces, right? They put all this stuff in a hat. It's like, "Are we hitting faces?" "Well, of course we're hitting faces." "Well, I've got a big presentation tomorrow."
Mm-hmm.
Then one of the boys is like, "Well, actually, I'm trying to show a house tomorrow. Like, this would be really good. No faces idea is not so bad." "Okay, no faces. And nothing below the belt."
Yeah.
Bully number 2's wife is ovulating. Yes. So they're trying to have a baby again.
So not from the neck up or the waist down. Yeah.
just the middle area. "All right, come on, let's go." And then somebody else swipes the hat with all the stuff, and the four of them run off together to fight the other two guys. I loved seeing like the back and forth of no longer kids in high school, but adults that are like, wait a minute, hold on, I've got a meeting tomorrow. I can't come in with bruises on my face. Wait, my wife is ovulating. We're about to try to have a baby. Wait, we can't really do this fight in the way that we think we can do the fight. We've got to do it a little bit differently because we are still adults now. This isn't how it works. And then the like camaraderie of them all coming back.
Yeah.
In after a successful fight against the other two people and getting their stuff back when one of the bullies says to Chandler, because he's clearly got this big bruise on his forehead, oh, don't do that to yourself. Any one of us could have tripped over that little girl's jump rope.
It's just, you know what? You're right, though. It's just the concept of the bullies at that age. Like, is that really a thing? I think that's the part I just struggle with the most. I'm like, would this really go down? I mean, it's
even
just
if
weird.
It does,
yeah,
it doesn't go down like that. Like, it just, you might be in a situation as an adult where you may or may not feel intimidated by another adult for whatever reason.
Right. But stealing the hat.
It's not so overt.
Right, exactly. You know? Yeah. They just seemed like little boys, you know? So it just,
that's what I mean.
And even when Ross goes back to the apartment after one of the scenes and he's like, I didn't think this was supposed to happen anymore. I'm like, oh, Ross, come on. Like, oh my goodness. And Rachel's kind of like comforting him. I'm like, I don't know. This just feels, it's like, Ross, get over it. Oh my God. Come on, you have a son. Let's get it together.
I will say before we move on to the next episode that, again, one more fantastic Joey line was filtered into this episode where one of the friends, I believe it was Monica, says, because she's talking about the stock market, says, my motto is get out before they go down.
Oh.
And he says, that is so not Joey, my motto.
Joey, oh my God. And Rachel's face looking at him when he says it. Yeah.
That is his third banger line in this episode. So if nothing else, Joey was on point in this one.
Then we have Chandler stealing the hat back at the end from the bullies and falling over everything. That's
classic.
That's to me the funniest Chandler moment of that episode. It's like he finally just is like, you know what? I'm just gonna race around and grab the hat, and then he just falls in his face.
Okay, so now we have season 2, episode 22, the one with the two parties, and the synopsis on this one's real short because I don't know if you noticed this, but Rachel's parents can't stay in the same room together, and when they come to Rachel's birthday, they have to break the party in two, and that is the whole story.
That's right.
There are no side stories.
Right.
It's all about this one party.
Yes.
And so all 6 of them are connected in the apartments for these parties. This is typically the making of what I would say is a very good episode.
Yeah. I like that about it for sure. Like the very beginning of the episode, they're in Central Park, and then everything after that is just going back and forth between the girl's apartment and the guy's apartment.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to include Central Park as part of the apartments.
Right.
I think Joey counts it off once. It's like 150 steps or something like that. He does that math at one point. But if the entire episode is all 6 of them together in just those 3 settings, it's usually great.
Yeah.
Or I personally like it when they break them into 3 groups of 2, but not the typical pairings.
Yeah.
Like, I like when they'll put like a Ross and Phoebe episode together, which is different than when you just put Joey and Phoebe together most of the time.
Yeah. Good point.
There's so many little things to pick on. I want to mention this, and I'm going to jump right into the middle of the episode. Please, because this whole thing is the story is easy. Rachel is upset that her parents can't stay together because she was at some party and they were fighting at each other the whole time, or a wedding or something. And so it's her birthday and they both show up.
Graduation.
It's her birthday, though. They both show up. Mom was invited, Dad wasn't, but he comes to see her on her birthday, and the gang just tries to keep them in separate places. So instead of having the party all in the main apartment, they really divide it between the 2. That's what's going on the whole time. Now, there are little mini stories in and out of this whole thing. But Rachel is caught bouncing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between these two places. And they do a whole scene where she is in one room and then she's over in the other room. So she's talking to her mom, then she's talking to her dad, then she's talking to her mom, talking to her dad, and they're both complaining about very different things. And then there's like a 5-second like slow-mo clip of Rachel like spinning around and like not sure what to do. And I'm like, what editor thought this was like part of Friends? This doesn't feel like the show at all.
I agree.
Am I wrong?
No, that it felt so out of place. There's like this weird, like eerie music kind of playing in the background and it goes slow motion. It's like, it just felt so not like a typical Friends shot at all. Like you don't really ever see a moment like that. Very weird.
No.
Very weird.
It was,
I agree.
This was so out of place for Friends to do this weird slow-mo interaction. It just doesn't make any sense why they would put this in there. I can't come up with a reason.
No.
But anyway,
it's like we get it. Rachel's overwhelmed.
Yeah. My favorite thing about this though is the guys part of this. Is Chandler like ushering all the girls into his apartment and then sending all the boys over to the other apartment. And so all the guys are on one side, all the girls are on another, and their apartment is banging and it's like jumping off and loud music and pizza and stuff. And it's all good. And Monica, I guess my favorite part isn't that, but it's the difference between them. So Monica is like trying to do some very quiet games where everybody has to put the pen cap on.
That is my favorite Monica line. I will ask that when you're done with the markers, you put the caps back on them because they will dry out. You want to push the caps until you hear them click. And she like clicks it down. I'm like, oh, Monica. She's like trying to have them like write down their most embarrassing memory on a piece of paper. And I don't know what she was planning on doing with that, but it is all the, it just does not look fun at Monica's party at all. It's pretty bad.
No.
Yeah.
It looks horrible. Yeah. And I can't even think, and this is again, one of those weird, these 4 episodes, there are some weird spots where I go, Monica, you don't even really want to be at this party. Like, I don't know what you are thinking. I don't believe you think this is a good party.
Well, at the beginning of the episode, Monica is talking about how she wants to poach a salmon for Rachel's birthday.
Course.
And it's just like, okay, so that's where we're starting. And she's just like, if you guys don't want it to be special, we can throw whatever party you want. Because everyone else is like, why do we always need to poach something at a party? Like, what is going on? Like, it just feels odd.
It's a straight flashback again to that money episode, right? Where Monica has the money. Now, she doesn't have as much money, but she does have a job now. So she wants to poach stuff and make stuff very fancy. And we know this about Monica. Yet, at the same time, like, the guys' party is clearly more fun. They're playing music. They've got pizza and beer, and it's real easy. Nothing is overdone. They don't have balloons or anything. Like, they're just hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah. Monica likes to have the controlled fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
and so then we have Phoebe, though, helping to smuggle people from Monica's party over to the guys' party, which is great. Like, Gunther is clearly not having a good time, and he's like, I don't want her to yell at me again, though. And so she's like...
Well, because he tried to leave. He tried to leave, and she just chastised him for going to the door, and then Phoebe's like, I can get you out. We'll work on this.
Yeah.
I will say at the very beginning, it was funny when... Rachel's mom shows up and they open the door and she's there, but the dad's already in the apartment and they just slam the door in her face. And they get the dad into the bedroom to like drop his coat off, and they open the door up and they're like, oh, Monica says, oh, we thought it was Rachel and it's too soon for that. And Chandler comes in, yes, because you look so young. And Phoebe responds, and because you're both white women.
Yes. Yes. And then Phoebe saying, let's go to the bathroom together. Like we're in a restaurant. We'll have like girl time. I'm like, what? And her mom's just like, okay, sounds good. Like, whatever. Like, and she goes off with her. And oh my goodness, before that too, when the dad comes in and Rachel isn't there yet. So her dad is like, oh, we're having a party. He sees all the signs and balloons. And they tell him, oh, well, we're having a surprise party for Rachel. And he's like, oh, is that where Rachel comes home and people pop out and stuff? And Chandler's like, this isn't your first surprise party, is it, sir? And then when Monica is having, realizing, okay, we need to usher him into the other room, when Rachel's mom shows up, Chandler leaping over all the furniture to get to her dad is amazing. Like Monica's kind of like, well, we have to hurry him over here. And he's like, yes, absolutely. Why again? But the way he just flies across the room so effortlessly, it's great. I mean, you just have to see it. I don't know. His acting there is hilarious.
Chandler is coming off all these episodes with Eddie that we talked about last week where timing was everything. Yes. And obviously Chandler is just like the funny guy, right? Everybody thinks of him as the funny one. And it's just because everything he has to do is delivered with such great timing. Mm-hmm. And this scene where they are bouncing, like the dad in and out of a room, the mom in and out of room, doors and faces, opening other doors, moving people across. This is a full-on cast timing project that I don't know how many times they shot it or whatever, but it was really, really well done.
Yes.
It felt like it was hectic.
Yeah.
And
my goodness. Yeah.
It was probably only about 45 seconds, maybe a minute. Yeah. But it was in and out, over here, over there, and nobody was the wiser.
No, and they
really good.
They
really
convinced Dr. Green that, well, this is actually just the staging area in Rachel and Monica's apartment. The real party is over at the guy's place. And so they usher him over there, and it's just chaos. Yeah, but the way that it is choreographed from start to finish is pretty awesome. And Rachel is clearly having, again, she's having a hard time with all of this. And I love how her mom is
her birthday.
Right. And so her mom is, well, actually going back to when Rachel appears with Ross and they have her surprise in her apartment. And then they're like, oh, you have to go over to Chandler and Joey's now. And she's like, why? Just go. And they open the door and they yell surprise there with her dad. Ross's face is so funny to me. Like, he's just like, okay. And I just love his expressions throughout this whole episode. It doesn't really say a whole lot other than his interactions with Dr. Green, which is also great.
We've talked at pretty decent length about what the story is here and what happens and the goods and the bads with some of the things. But Ross getting Dr. Green's stuff is in fact the best moment in this episode.
Oh my God, I agree. Him with the glasses on.
Ross getting the drink, which, by the way, how much scotch did he pour in that glass? I'm like, I know it's probably apple juice, Ross, but come on, man. That is a lot of scotch.
A little bit more
into this glass.
Yes.
Like, Dr. Green's not going to see sideways coming out of this party, like if he drinks that whole thing. So anyway, he brings over the glass of scotch to him, and then he meets him in the hallway, and he's like, oh, no, I was just getting my glasses and my cigarettes. So Ross goes over and is caught by Mrs. Green in the party with the glasses and the cigarettes. And so he puts on the glasses because they're his glasses, because why else would he have them? Mm-hmm. And he bangs out a cigarette and flips one across the room, I think, and gets it, puts it in his mouth. And he looks just like Dr.
She's
Green
like, those look just like my husband's glasses. And he's just like,
very in style, very fashionable these days. He's like, Neil Sedaka wears them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I love before he even gets the scotch, when Dr. Green is asking for them, and he's like, well, isn't that neat? Scotch neat?
Scotch neat. That's right.
He does not even know
anyway,
what neat means for Scotch, so that's where Ross is at on that. Yep. Is that one of
Ross's
my cigarettes?
greatest moment? Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But Ross's greatest moment in this episode is when he walks out into the hallway with the glasses on, and he's confronted, and he's like, "Are those my glasses?" "Well, I was just warming the earpieces." "Is that my cigarette?" "I was just moistening the tip."
Oh my, it is like stuck to his lip. This dried up, cigarette is just like hanging from his mouth. Oh my goodness. I was moistening the tip. Yeah, that is.
Moistening the tip is one of the funniest things that he can
I don't know how they got through that. Yeah.
I think that took a few shots at it.
Yeah.
Like they took some takes on that one for sure. I wouldn't have been able to make it through. Let's put it that way.
No.
That's super funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sorry, we're on a major flan high. The end of that episode where like Joey is then kissing Mrs. Green in the hallway too is probably my favorite part, where they've made it through this entire segment without either of them seeing each other somehow. Like, you kind of think as a viewer, they're gonna see each other at some point, right? Like, this is all gonna come crashing down.
That has to be the case.
And it doesn't. They actually do end up pulling it off, and by Joey finally making the final move of just grabbing Mrs. Green and laying one on her, like kissing her around the hall, and she's like, "This is the best party I've been to in years." And then Monica comes out, "Thank you."
Yeah, no, horrible, Monica. Like, no, this was not it.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But I do have to say, again, another moment in this episode that was a very redeeming quality for this was in the hallway. It is Chandler's best moment in this episode, where he steps into the hallway and starts talking to Rachel about divorce, because she's now posted up in the middle and she doesn't know which parent to go with. And they have this very nice scene about how Chandler survived divorce as a child and now what she has to go through as an adult. And I thought it was very emotional scene for Chandler, who does not wear that cape very often.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it was nice that he was there for Rachel, and then when Ross comes out, he just kind of like passes her over to Ross, and but
like, not really my responsibility here. This is yours. I'm going to take off.
But they're always, they're there for each other, and it was nice having that. Like, as you mentioned before, it's kind of nice when you see the characters connecting that aren't always the typical characters connecting. So it kind of,
and maybe that's why maybe that's why I really like that scene, because the Chandler Rachel combo is not one that we see a lot of, and when we do, it's great.
I think that's the writers really tried to make a point of like bringing them all together as separate friends, like outside of the typical pairings, and they could, this was an area where Chandler could relate to Rachel, whereas there probably aren't a ton of areas where Chandler and Rachel really connect and like have that shared experience. So yeah.
Okay, so now we are season 2, episode 23, the one with the chicken pox, where Phoebe's submarine guy resurfaces as Charlie Sheen, guest stars as Ryan. Monica doesn't want to show Richard that she's crazy with all of her idiosyncrasies, and Joey acts like a processor as he fills in at Chandler's company as Joseph the processing guy, making things a little bit tough for his roommate.
Yeah.
Where do you want to jump in here?
Well, the timing of this is kind of funny, because Charlie Sheen has been like doing this little book tour recently, kind of going on different talk shows and talking to people and pushing like this book where he is apparently gotten, I haven't read it, but he goes in to a lot of detail from his winning stage, if we all remember that. And I'm like, oh my God.
That was a rough time for Charlie Sheen.
That was rough. And he shares a lot of stuff apparently, and is just very candid. And probably trying to make some extra money on it. But
he's had quite an eventful life.
Wow.
From like the earlier days, and then like I mean, I always think of him from Major League.
Yeah.
But he was on a show early on that I never watched, and I'm going to forget the name of it, and maybe you know it. I don't know it. I'll look it up here in a moment while we're going. But he was on some show early on. Then it was like a rejuvenation of his career after some like run-ins with
2.5
Men.
Yep.
And then the winning comes at the back end of 2.5 Men, where he just like loses his mind again. And now we're here. And I think the Friends episode was like before 2.5 Men and after whatever. It was some legal show, wasn't it, that he was on?
Was he on West Wing? His dad was on West Wing. I didn't know if he made. I never got into West Wing, so I don't know if he made an appearance.
It was a week. It was.
But
what was it?
But while you're looking at that, I will say, I hate to say this, but this is just my opinion. This is my take. Please feel free to argue with me on this.
I will.
But Charlie Sheen in this episode, I did not buy the chemistry between him and Lisa Kudrow, Phoebe, at all. Like, I just felt like their connection just feels so awkward from the moment he shows up, and his lines of like, I don't know. It just, his acting during these scenes, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I was like, I'm always just, it's, I don't know. I do like when he says, when Phoebe goes, she's under a scarf when he shows up in her apartment because she has the chicken pox and she's wanting to cover it up. The girls had kind of put like calamine lotion patches on her face, and so she's in the dark with the scarf over her head, and she says, I have the pox. And he's like, chicken or small? And but I don't know. I just find it really poorly acted, and there's not a lot of chemistry. And I do like when she says, okay, this is the most romantic disease I've ever had, but I'm just not feeling it. I don't know. What do you think?
So I will push back on this a little bit. I do think Charlie Sheen is a big star. I looked, by the way, it was like the things I'm thinking of it was like Young Guns and Wall Street.
Wall Street, what he was in.
Movie. There's still movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But he was like an up and coming like big movie star at the time. And then he did the spot on Friends long before 2.5 Men. And I don't want to say that he didn't have chemistry. I do want to say that I feel like there's a certain level of guest star that when you have such a celebrity to you already, it feels not great. Now, I want to also, I'm going to counter my own argument by saying, now, if they're really good, you can spin it around. But some of them, it feels like I'm just here to get a bump on my career, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give you some. I'll give you some things. I think Charlie Sheen is a better guest star than Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, I mean,
by a wide margin. Okay, he is not better than Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I would actually.
And so Julia Roberts is a huge star, right? But she was so good in the delivery of that section of the story with Susie Underpants.
Yeah.
That it was super funny and well done. The Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff all felt so weird. And so I'm guessing, based on what you said, that you feel this falls closer to Van Damme than it does Roberts.
His line delivery just felt awkward to me. Like when he says, your face could be covered in locks and I wouldn't care. It just, I don't know what and maybe, you know what, part of it might just be his delivery in general. I don't know.
I think that might be it.
It's just,
I think you might just not be a big fan of his, which is fine. Yeah,
I don't know. But again, like him in Wall Street, love it. Like to me, his movie acting for some reason in those roles, great. And even 2.5 Men, I loved him on that show. I thought it was funny, but he just seemed to fit that character so much better. Well, like maybe it was something about this character that I'm like, I don't know. I really buy him as Ryan, the guy coming home from the Navy. Like, it just...
The military man.
You're a military man, Ryan. I expected more from you. That line from Ross.
So good.
Oh, but then we have Monica and Richard. I love this where she's trying to find out what Richard's neurotic quirks are, just like hers, where the head of the bed is where the sun would be. And you don't love me anymore, do you? And she's trying to explain like why the way that he made the bed just doesn't make sense, and she kind of tears the whole thing apart and remakes it because the flowers are facing the wrong way. And you know what? We all have stuff like that, Monica. It's okay. And
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm fully on board with Monica's side on this one. I actually understand the sun theory that she's tossing out there, but maybe it's because like our mom is probably Monica.
Yeah.
And it's been taught to us over the years. So it's just ingrained in me that the flowers go that way.
That's right.
Like, why would they not? Right. I'm with you, Monica. I hear this. It's fine. Okay. Stand on it. Don't be upset about the fact that Richard doesn't understand that the flowers go up and not down.
If it's not a right angle, it's a wrong angle. Tomorrow I'm going to do your clocks. I'm going to set them to my time.
I thought we all shared time.
but Richard, see, and this is where, like, Richard, Tom Selleck being on the show, he fits right in with the cast and is such a natural, like, pick. I feel like his chemistry with Monica on the show is so good. I love having them together.
Yeah, and but I'll say, I think you look at Tom Selleck and go, yeah, Monica should be dating this guy.
Yep.
And you look at Charlie Sheen and you go, no, this is not who Phoebe should be with.
Right, yeah.
That's just kind of how I think part of it is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, this doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But I do like that Tom Selleck he's scrambling, he's trying to find something, and eventually he comes to, no, I have to sleep on the west side of the bed, because if I didn't, the ocean would be on the wrong side.
Yes, he grew up in California, and so when he needs to make sure the ocean is on the same side as when he was a kid. And she's like, oh my God, you're a freak.
I know. Oh, yeah.
I know.
It is what it is. I will say, both of those stories are interesting pieces. We said it a little bit earlier, but I do like when Ross comes in and goes, I might have expected this from you, Phoebe, but Ryan, you're a military man.
I know.
Like, he should have some sort of discipline for chicken pox scratching.
Yes.
I get it.
And then another just funny Ross expression is that when he comes into the apartment again, when they've decided to take off the mitts, and he's just like, he just decides to leave. He goes in, looks at them, and is like, yep, I'm gone.
Yeah, whatever he was here for, not important. I'm out. See you later.
Yep.
But I will say that I think the Chandler and Joey piece of this story is probably my favorite.
Oh.
I'm not going to say it's great, but I don't even know
Joseph
why Joey is in this position, but somehow he's there, and he's got to find a job, or he's going to like part-time fill in some guy's group. And so Chandler's like, listen, you don't have to be a processor. You're an actor. Just act like a processor. And so we get this whole thing where he gets hired in, and he ends up making life terrible for Chandler because he's calling him out on his stuff, and he doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just making stuff up. But he's like having the conversation with the head of East Coast operations, Jeannie. And it's so funny because our kids go to the same school. And Chandler's like, what are you talking about? He's like, we got to think about those things as an actor. So, like, I figure I have two kids, Ashley and Brittany. And Ashley copies everything Brittany does.
Oh my God. Joseph and Karen are thinking.
And Chandler's like, invisible kids can be that way.
Joseph and Karen are thinking about having another kid. You know what? Just did.
But it all comes back around because, as we've learned in this show, how do you fight crazy? How do you fight the stalker how do you fight Eddie?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So how do you fight Crazy Joey here? Well, you fight him at his own game. You can't fire him because he's not as part of his team. So Chandler goes, you know what? Can't fire you, but I can sleep with your wife. You wouldn't. You know what?
I just did. It is just, I mean, my God. I don't know. This sequence...
It's easily the silliest portion of the show, and I'm here for it.
Ridiculous. I could have done without this sequence. I did not enjoy... I'm like, what is Joey even doing there? Why would Chandler ever think that bringing Joey into his work is a good idea? The whole thing is crazy town. It doesn't make sense. That lives right out. I'll go back to that. Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, it does. It does. But maybe that just goes to my real feelings on the other parts of this story as well. But it was probably my favorite of the 3 storylines. Although I might say the best part of this entire story or entire episode is right out of the gate in the beginning. And Chandler can't talk because he's eating a muffin.
Oh, yes.
And they are all just dropping innuendo jokes around him, and he can't say anything because his mouth is full of food. Yeah,
I love that part too. Yeah, yep, for sure.
All right, and now we're on the last episode of the season 2, episode 24, the one with Barry and Mindy's wedding, where Rachel has to attend Barry and Mindy's wedding as a maid of honor in an insanely pink dress. And Monica is terrified to ask Richard where their relationship is going. Joey is struggling with a kissing scene where he has to kiss another guy. And Chandler ends up chatting with a girl online who he connects with overnight. And we end up getting the return of Janice.
Oh, yes. My God.
I'm here for it. Okay. Let's start with Joey's kissing scene, because that whips right out. I don't think I have any real notes about that other than meh.
So yeah, the one thing that I did comment on with this one is where they make reference to Warren Beatty. And told him that he's a bad kisser. So I guess he's like directing what Joey is.
He must be directing this fictional Joey performance.
And he's like, well, Phoebe says, well, what does Warren Beatty know about kissing?
Yes.
And the group gives her a look, and Phoebe's like, oh, right. So it turns out that Warren
you look
Beatty,
this up? Because I did.
Yes, I did, because I'm like, I really don't understand what the reference is. So apparently anyone else who's listening who cares to know, Warren Beatty was actually credited as the first Hollywood on-screen French kiss with Natalie Wood in 1961's Splendor in the Grass. So he kind of was, he was the OG of French kissing on screen. So he would know. It kind of, so when he's telling Joey, you're not good. Kisser. You should take that seriously, is what the friends are trying to tell him. And I'm like, that reference, I don't know. I guess.
No, went right over my head.
Same.
And it has every year I've watched it. And this time, because I knew we were doing this podcast, I'm like, well, I got to look this up, figure out what this point is. Yeah. That's the only thing I took from that. It is funny watching him try and kiss Chandler and Ross throughout the episode in random moments, but that's about it.
And Phoebe offering to kiss Joey to give him advice, and she's more than willing to kiss Joey. Yes. But right, then Rachel suggests
would recommend, she said.
Would recommend. That's right. And but then they're like, well, maybe it's because you need to practice on a guy. So then he's trying to kiss the guys throughout the episode. It's super random. And then at the end, when Ross ends up kissing him and Joey's like, because he comes in, he's like, I've been feeling really guilty about this. I want to be a good friend, so just shut up and close your eyes. And he kisses Joey. And then Joey's like, well, the audition was this morning and I didn't get it, but that was a hell of a kiss. Rachel is a very lucky girl. And that was probably the funniest sequence of that theme in the episode for sure.
Yeah. Let's jump to then the Chandler section, because I feel like the wedding has a number of pieces to it that we might want to talk about. So the Chandler section is kind of like this flashback to chat rooms. And he's in a chat room talking to somebody, and
on the biggest laptop ever.
And Phoebe is basically, wow, you don't even know who that is. Could be a huge guy. And like, that is not wrong. You don't know who these people are. Do not do this. But nonetheless, he's out there chatting people up, chatting with this one girl over and over again, and finds out that she's married, but she wants to meet him. And another really great scene is when Phoebe convinces him that he's got to do it. And so she's yelling at Chandler all the instructions. Yeah. She's like, you got to go get dressed. And then he takes off for the bedroom. No. You got to take a shower. So he like doubles back, runs to the bathroom. No. Answer her. Because the thing's beeping. He's like, no, make a cup of coffee because this is too much.
I love that. Yes.
And just watching Chandler being able to execute the like running around as quickly as she's speaking. Awesome. It was really good.
It was so similar to that other episode where Monica's telling him to like usher Mr. Green into the other apartment, and he like leaps over everything. Right. Chandler was just dashing around the room, and it was so hilarious. And, you know, right before that segment, and when she's saying it could be a guy, like you mentioned, it could be like a big giant guy, and she's like, just ask how long. Oh no, Joey says, just ask her how long she's gonna live. Women live longer than men. And there you go. Chandler looks back at him. I love this line. And he's like, how do you not fall down more? That is one of my favorite Chandler to Joey lines of the entire series. It's just like, it reminds me of the Q-tip in the ear. You're supposed to stop when you feel resistance.
Yeah, every now and then, Chandler fires a pretty sharp line at Joey. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Like, how is this even possible that you are walking around if you are saying things like this?
Yes. And then Phoebe comes up. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Phoebe then comes up with the good idea of just ask her what her current birth control method is. And that's the one that he goes with. I'm like, I just wrote WTF? Like, really?
Yeah,
that's the good idea?
Not a fantastic question anyway, but it leads him to figuring out that the person on the other side is married, but they do still want to meet. And so through some coaxing from Phoebe where it's like, listen, this could be the one. Like, she's clearly not happy in her marriage. This might be the one that works for you. So let's go find out. And this sets up the very end of the episode. So this is the final scene to season 2, where Chandler's down at Central Park, watching the door, watching people come in and out, and not knowing who's coming when, here we go, and Janice walks through the door. And she just looks at Chandler as like, oh my God, as she typically does. And Chandler walks across the room and just plants one on her right in the doorway. And the whole the rest of them are like, oh my God.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Going back.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. My quick note here. Like, the first season ends on Rachel waiting in the airport. Right? This ends on Chandler and Janice getting together. And it feels like this could have been the middle of the season.
It does.
This is just not a season-ending moment.
Agreed.
To me, it's probably one of their weaker finishes.
Yes.
It would have been better if they had left it with him seeing the person and not showing everybody else who it was.
Yeah. I agree. It was a very odd end to the season. You know, I do like,
or they could have ended it with the wedding.
Right.
That would have been a better end.
Yeah. You know what? I gotta say, these 4 episodes in general, for me, just aren't my favorites. I mean, it just, as far as the end of a season, I actually preferred the last 4 that we were on a lot more. And so it's almost like
same.
Shuffling around the sequence of events. But I do understand, thinking about the wedding and almost Monica's situation. I feel like all of that, they were trying to really, evolve where she was at. And I think, just show where each of the characters were in their relationships, and all of that is just changing. So you have that, but these 4 episodes were definitely a weaker end to a season than I think we'll see, that I know we'll see in the coming seasons for sure. When I think about how things typically do wrap up. But before we go into the wedding, though, I do have to say that I love when Chandler, shares with the group that he's been chatting with someone online, and he's just like, yeah, she told me to cut it out, get real. So I did. No jokes. And it's just like, yeah, this is me. This is just how I am now. No more jokes. And they're just like, stop it. It's freaking me out. That's Phoebe. And Richard even is like, oh, yeah, I don't like you like this. And it's just like, like he's just serious now. He's just going to be Chandler. And yeah, finding out that he's been talking to Janice this whole time is pretty great.
It's not our finest end to a series or to a series season.
Yeah.
But the wedding has a lot going on. And I will start, I think, early on when you're seeing Rachel like in the dress and really frustrated. And, Chandler's just making every joke he can make about her. Ross is trying to like get everybody like, oh no, it's cool. It's cool. Everybody's going to be fine.
Say she looks good.
Like, it's going to be fine. She looks great. I do like as they evolve this and they get to the place and she's still stressed about how she looks. Ross says something and she goes, oh, Ross, would you stop? You got me. I'm dating you.
Yes. Yes. And I love when Ross is telling them all, like, tell her she looks good. And Phoebe is like, oh my God, you look so good. And she's laughing hysterically. And it's just like, oh my goodness, great Phoebe line. But yeah, when she walks down to head out into the aisle, into where everyone is in this wedding, and the back of her dress is tucked into her panties, it's just like, oh, no one noticed this? Like, oh.
How did the lady not handing like the flowers, like pull her back and like say something?
I know. Crazy.
Brutal.
And then she's like, yeah, the only thing that tops this is when I was in the 8th grade and I had to sing Copacabana in front of the whole school. And
that's when we get the line. Yeah.
Yes. Because Ross, you got
Ross
me.
tries to like, he's like, no, it wasn't that bad. And she's like, oh, would you stop it? Yeah, it's just,
the whole thing is just so weird though, because I'm sorry, I get it. She was Mindy's best friend, which again, they changed Mindy's character, which made that even weirder.
Boo. Boo.
Yeah,
Dislike this Mindy. I mean, the other Mindy used to be like taking classes up in the Catskills at one point.
Right.
But this,
the whole thing is weird. Like being the maid of honor when your best friend, who she doesn't really see anymore, is marrying her ex. Oh, it is just cringe. And I love when, they even have people coming up to Rachel saying it's wonderful to see you out and about and stay well, because apparently they have told people that the reason she ran out on the wedding is because she went insane from the syphilis. And it's like, dude, so you were spreading that rumor about Rachel, and then she's also the maid of honor in your wedding. Just
okay. Question for the good of the people. Has anybody out there been a friend of a person who then marries their ex and is asked to be the maid of honor or best man?
No, this is
not a thing. That's so weird, right?
This is not okay.
Like, even if Mindy is marrying Barry and Mindy and Rachel are best friends, which they're clearly not.
No.
How is Rachel the maid of honor? She can't be.
No, she cannot be. And even if
like you can barely invite her to the wedding, let alone putting her in the prime position of maid of honor.
It's not okay. And that also then goes to explain where, and apparently this is a thing, where brides like to put their maid of honor and their whole wedding party in ridiculous dresses just so that they don't outshine them, and they almost like purposefully make them a clown in their wedding. And I'm like, this whole concept is just dark. Like, that is just so cruel. And I hate the whole thing.
I will say that I feel that is a thing that was a like trending for a while. Yikes. It may even still be a thing, but like,
nasty
I know
people.
When we got married, like when Tina and I got married, we didn't do that. Like we tried to be reasonable.
I loved my dress. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Still have it? Probably not. It's okay.
You know what? Yeah, I do not still have that. It was a great dress. Served its purpose.
Tina's got
Can't
hers,
say
and that's
ever.
The one that matters.
Well, that is the one that matters. I did not really have a need for a strapless, like a bright red satin finish dress. I mean, hey,
bright red. It was bright red. It was like maroonish.
Okay.
Like wine red.
Okay. Well,
it's fire engine red.
I didn't know that would be a problem.
Fire engine red would be a problem. Fire engine red. It was a fall wedding.
It looked good. I looked good in the color.
She's
not gonna lie.
Everybody hear that? Hear that? Hear how fast she backpedaled off of that?
Oh, I liked it. I liked the dress. I could not.
Tina's gonna listen to this.
This was not a poofy. Tina did a great job. This was not this poofy. What did they call Rachel?
She looked like a bottle of Pepto-Bismol is what she looked like.
Yeah, but Princess Powder Puff, or I don't know. They made
it was brutal. And you know what was even funnier? When she came in to say goodbye at the official dance, she had the hat. It looked like she was like going to the beach.
Oh, the hat.
What a horrible combo.
Horrible. Yeah, and
don't do that to your bridesmaids, people. I've never been a bride, but don't do that.
When they're at the speeches, during the speech portion, and then they're all like just being cruel and mean. Like, Barry's like, hey, I guess I knew you wouldn't even make it through one of my weddings. Yeah. And as she's going to leave, and like, dude, get some even a touch of class. I mean, this guy is the worst. The most touching part of this whole episode by far, even though it's heartbreaking too.
Yeah, we have to get to this.
Yeah, is between Monica and Richard, where they're dancing together, and she is.
Before we get to the dance, we have to wind it back a little.
That's true.
So
the bassinet.
They are like at the apartment, and I remember in my synopsis, Monica is afraid to ask Richard about where the relationship is going.
Yeah.
And eventually, she does pose the question, and the response is half what she's expecting, but half also not. She gets the idea that Richard definitely wants to have a long-term committed relationship to her, but he's not interested in having kids.
So we're in France.
And she's left. Yeah.
So we're in France.
She's left with this idea.
We're making the toast. Do you see a bassinet in the corner? Like a hound?
Like a hound?
Do you really need the bassinet? Yeah.
Well, the baby would keep falling off the dog.
Yes. And, it's tough because he has grandkids.
She does go back and forth with this.
Yeah.
She goes back and you see her actively thinking about it. Like, I mean, I love Richard so much. Like, is it worth it to be with him and not have kids? And then flash forward, we're at the wedding.
Yeah.
They're still talking about this. And she sees these two little girls dancing together. And it's just like, no, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
And so, to Richard's credit, he says, you know what? If I've got to do it, if this is what it's going to take, if I have to do these things, I'm going to do them. I will do them all for you because I don't want to lose you. And that's great. But her line here is,
because he's like, if I have to, I will. If I have to, I will. And he just keeps reinforcing, if I have to. And she's like, you're the most wonderful man. If you hadn't said, if I have to about 17 times, I'd be saying, okay, let's do it. But he's like, but that's not what you're saying.
It's a very understandable argument for Monica to say that.
Yeah.
Because she's still in her mid-20s, looking to have a family and grow together. And you don't want to be settling at that point for someone who's only going to do it because they have to do it.
Yeah.
You want to be doing
on
that
the same
with somebody
page.
who wants to do it.
Yeah, you're right there together.
Wants to be a part.
Yeah.
And this is where that age gap really comes in.
Although then Richard, later on, he regrets this choice.
He sure does.
He wishes that he had put a little bit more thought into this and not let Monica go, but he did.
Yeah, and this is the true end to season 2.
Yeah.
The idea that Monica and Richard are left dancing on the wedding dance floor, knowing that it's over.
I have to say,
and
though,
I will say, go ahead, because I have something to say too.
Yeah, I think that though, going back to Central Perk, because that's kind of like, all right, we're at the wedding, then we're unwinding from the wedding, and ending on just the funny moment. I think almost like there are those episodes in Friends where you'll have the super dramatic scene, but they also want to end it on like a laugh. You know, they want to end it on the high note instead of just rolling out with the drama. First season, surely it did not end that way. You were more like, oh my God, Rachel's at the airport. What's going to happen? But yeah,
I think on an episode.
Yeah.
Yes. On a season ending episode.
Yeah.
No, no, don't do that. Like that like coming back just to see Janice walk in the door. Very cool.
I love
big
Janice.
Surprise. You could have just left it open and then be like, oh my God, who are they adding to the Friends cast?
Yeah.
And it could have been anybody. They could have cast anyone they wanted at that point.
True.
But bringing back Janice, I'm not disappointed in that ever. I will say this. I am somewhat surprised that Richard's first stretch on this show is as short as it is. I feel like he was on this for seasons.
Right?
And he really isn't. He's on it for like, probably like 75% of this season, but it was basically just season 2.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. I know, like when I think about Friends as a whole, it's like, this was such a significant moment for Monica, but it's also because then we have her with Chandler. So it's like that, which then, is really her, then who ends up being her true love. And they spend the rest of the series together, but it's like,
so I think that's time before that.
So but I feel like that's why it feels like looking back, Richard is on for a lot longer because his impact was just huge on Monica's character. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to get into our IMDb rankings, where we have these 4 episodes. We're going to rank them in our order from favorite to least favorite. And we're going to try to see if we think any of them, rank real high or real low. And if you want to be a part, of course, don't forget, you can go on IMDb and click on each episode, give it a rating, 10 stars to 0 stars, I guess, and 10 being the high, 0 being low. We do know that the average is somewhere in the upper 8s. I think it is like an 8.7, 8.9. Hold on.
I think it was 8.9.
We do know it. I do know it. I wrote it somewhere. 8.9.
Yeah.
8.9 is the average. We also know that the highest episode we've seen so far is the one with the prom video, which was a 9.3. And the one with fake Monica at a 7.6 is the low. And that is going to be hard to beat, in my opinion. But I will say, Amanda, I was thinking if there may or may not be an episode in this mix that could contend with 7.6.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say, I don't think it's as low as the one with fake Monica because of Charlie Sheen's guest star appearance. But the one with the chicken pox, episode 23, for me is just my least favorite of these 4. It just didn't feel like a whole lot actually happened. Like this is where we had the chicken pox sequence. You did have, for me, my favorite part of that one was the interaction between Monica and Richard and just the whole neuroses of it all and the back and forth there.
Yeah.
But I also, as we're talking about, I really didn't like the whole Joey at Chandler's office. I mean, sure, there's always funny moments in all of these episodes, but it just, that whole episode just kind of fell a little bit flat for me. So that was my choice, but I bet that it's still higher than Fake Monica. I feel like it's still got to be a couple notches higher.
Well, this is interesting because I have a different worst episode.
Okay.
I think the worst episode in this chunk is the one with the bullies.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because the reason I disliked Fake Monica so much was that I felt Monica was so out of character that it didn't make any sense what she was doing. And in this one, the section with the bullies feels so weird and awkward until the end. So I don't think it's going to be worse because the end of that is good. And we also get Giovanni Ribisi coming back. And if he didn't come back in this, I'd say no way. But it's got to be a little bit better than a 7.6 at least. I won't be shocked if it's an 8, but like it's got to be on the low end of the spectrum for me.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
My favorite out of these.
It's a lot harder to pick.
No, I'm like, I feel like my favorite is the final episode.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm correcting myself. It's definitely the one with the two parties. That is my favorite.
Okay.
Where they are going back and forth between the two apartments, and there's just a lot more. I like, as we talked about, where they're just all in one shot, like one scene together as a group.
Yeah. One storyline.
Yes.
There aren't broken up pieces of the story. It's all there together.
Right. And the whole part with Ross with the cigarette is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And just a lot of great interactions there. Yeah.
I will agree. That is my favorite as well. I do not think it's close to the prom video one, so I don't think it's threatening taking over number one. Yeah. But I do think it is the best of the bunch. I think it's still not great, though. I don't think any of these four were all that amazing. Yeah. The one with the two parties is just, there's a lot of quick moving pieces, and Ross with the, like, dressing up with the stuff, and Chandler's moment with Rachel in the hallway.
Yeah. And Chandler's physical humor in that one is pretty great. Yeah.
Like there are enough pieces. Phoebe had some really good lines. But again, it also had like the weird slow-mo effect for Rachel. Yeah. And it's just, it wasn't the best episode of the gang hanging out together. Maybe it's because they weren't really together, because they were still broken apart for most of it. But I don't know. It was my favorite of the bunch. I really dislike the wedding with Barry. That's just so uncomfortable all the time. There are so many good moments in that episode, so that is number 2 for me. Yeah. But Barry, so I can't take it.
Yeah, he's such a jerk. Yeah, it's just awful. I know. And the whole concept is just hard to wrap your mind around. I think that's like with you talking about the one with the bullies too. It's just, we've had a couple episodes where we're just stretching this a little beyond where their characters normally are. And I feel like in general, that's just frustrating when it happens, because this show is usually very easily to connect those dots into like where, oh yeah, the character would do this realistically. Like this fits into who they are,
Well, and if I was just going to look at all 4 of these episodes and say this is the best, most important scene in the whole thing, it is Monica and Richard breaking up.
For sure.
That is the best, well done section of any of these episodes, but it is surrounded by chaos. And so as much as we have that and we have Janice's return, the wedding is just, it's more of a Friends episode. It feels better. Anyway, my 2 cents.
Yeah. And I'm really curious to see, right, like how how the people rank this. And I would love to hear everyone's feedback on this too. Like what other people think, what are your favorites? What are your least favorites? But what are the...
Okay, I've got the results.
What are the results?
Got the results. So, remember, Fake Monica, 7.6, worst episode to date. The one with the chicken pox is a 7.9.
Wow. And
just a little bit better.
Even with
and the
Charlie
one with the
Sheen. Yikes. Sorry, buddy.
The one with the bullies, also a 7.9.
Yeah.
Both of them equally bad. So, but I had one, you had the other, but both of them were just brutal. Best episode, the one with 2 parties, an 8.9. Much higher than I expected.
Wow, really? That is much higher.
I would not have said 8.9. That's impressive.
That's
knowing that the prom video, by the way, is a 9.3, and also the only episode to even hit over 9. So to have the 2 parties clock in an 8.9, people really liked it, and I don't disagree. Yeah. It's the best one of these 4.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why I'm like, I'm very curious. How did the one with the wedding go?
The one with the wedding was an 8.1.
Okay.
So clearly second best, but really, in general, not
for
great.
A finale too. It's like, wow.
For a finale, I mean, I could track that too. Like, it's going to be on the low side. Only, I'm looking really quick. There were like 5 episodes that were in the 7s this season. The one with Phoebe's husband was in the 7s. The one with Phoebe's dad was in the 7s. Oh, not a good day for Phoebe. The one with the lesbian wedding. The one with Russ.
Yep.
And now these 2. So 6. 6 out of 24 were into the 7s. And 8.9. I mean, the one with 2 parties is like tied for the second best episode. It's tied with the one where Ross finds out.
Okay. Wow.
I would never have said it was that close.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that's what I was recalling that too. I'm like, I think 8.9 was the one where Ross finds out. So that's really interesting. I mean, I am really looking forward to season 3 because it is one of my favorites. I think I mentioned this before. Like, I love seasons 3, 4, and 5 so much. And it's gonna be great. I have this feeling that we're gonna get a lot in the high 8s in season 3. We will see. And maybe I'll feel different as we're like digging deep into them, but I'm just really excited.
Listen, the funny thing is, we know the average is an 8.9. We've only had one episode in 2 seasons get above that. And it is so there's got to be some big ones coming. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Again, please follow us on our Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to us on YouTube. We really appreciate you guys showing us some love there. We've seen the growth. We want to see some more. We're hoping that you guys are jumping on with us and finding our podcast and listening all the way. So please, if you could just share this with one person, that would be so appreciated from us. Check out our website at werunonreruns.com. And for Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching the first 4 episodes of season 3 this week. Happy rerunning, everyone.
See you later, guys.